If you just reduce this scene to the audio alone, it sounds more like Hello everyone, my name is Christoph Jakob, I'm a music composer for video games, and today let's check out another one of the new Salmon Run tracks. I'm not sure if it has an official name yet, but this one plays when you're fighting King Salmonid. Let's try and figure out what's going on in this tune. I think I need to re-listen to that with headphones. This intro section, if you can even call it an intro, is very distorted, has lots of low sounds, and I'd say it sounds just very menacing, very threatening. It makes you feel uncomfortable. And it does make sense, since the game's focus at this point is presenting this huge boss that is slowly approaching. Such a mess. All over the place. As soon as the actual hunt for King Salmonid starts, I'd say the music actually tends to lose some of its threatening vibes. It still does sound somewhat serious, but similar to the other new Salmon Run track that I already made a video about, it just has this over-the-top quirkiness, silliness, goofiness. While visually the boss definitely looks like a huge threat. If you just reduce this scene to the audio alone, it sounds more like Overall, this tune feels very chaotic and it evokes a sense of madness, I'd say. Mr. Gris even tells the players to not get disorganized now, yet the music does just that. It sounds like the instruments are all doing their own thing, only casually communicating with one another. I find it quite interesting how the cello and the timpani are communicating with each other, especially in those very dissonant and collapsing parts like this. Funnily enough, the timpani is trying to do the exact same thing, only shortly after that. Despite all this quirk and silliness though, how does the music still manage to sound so serious and make you feel so uncomfortable? Well, the music is very unpredictable and our brains seem to find that interesting. It's a natural tendency of our brain to try and find structure in things. To generalize and to categorize. But when it has difficulty doing that, it can make us feel uncomfortable. Most of these random sound effects, movements and textures are just completely unpredictable. Unless you've listened to the tune 100 times already, then you might be able to predict some of these things. Such a mess. There's a melody. And it's dead. I do love some of those random sound effects, or call it cinematic elements or something like that. Like these short, random, very dissonant, alert-like sounds. Reminded me a little bit of Psycho, like you're about to be stabbed. There are several parts where the tune seems to want to build some sort of melodic structure, but that is usually destroyed again quite quickly, or just goes in a completely different direction, something that you just wouldn't expect. There were some parts that started some sort of melodic movement, but it felt like it died off quite quickly. Like this, for example. Which, if you try to analyze this from a music theory standpoint, it's hard to say what's going on here. It's almost, but just almost, chromatically ascending. Right? And the next time it slowly starts getting higher, here and there. But it's completely unpredictable. Probably my favorite part that tried to introduce some sort of main melody that collapsed later on is this part here. It just collapses. Some musical terms or just concepts that are generally associated with making you feel uncomfortable also appear all over this tune. For example, chromatic movement. A normal scale, for example a major scale, consists of 7 different notes. A chromatic scale, however, just utilizes every single note. Like if you listen to these synth sounds in the background at the beginning, it sounds kinda alien, especially when something is chromatically descending. It also sounds like something is falling apart. And also whole tone movements. While a chromatic scale basically just moves up in half steps the entire time, a whole tone scale does the same thing, but it's skipping every second note. So you get something like that sounds like this. Sounds very alien. In general, I would say that this entire first half of this tune, it doesn't sound like King Salmonid's theme. It sounds more like your theme, the theme of the players. They are all over the place and have to try and survive. And similar to some of the melodies in the tune, not all of them are going to survive. Oh, now it's starting to sound way more threatening. Way more, I'd say. But still kinda all over the place. There were some random tempo and time signature changes here and there, mostly because of these what I call cinematic elements earlier. Overall, I'd say this is easily the most chaotic and the most fear-inducing Salmon Run track we've had so far. There was not even a single glimpse of hope in this tune. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more reaction and analysis kind of videos, you can click here. I've also written my own little Splatoon inspired album. If you want to check that out, you can click here. And in case you'd like to hear some of the music that I've written for video games, you can click here. See you next time.